Hello there, I'm a day late reviewing The Nice Guys. Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade, Nick Charles, Rigby Reardon. These names evoke an image of the dogged gumshoe that will fight on no matter the obstacle. Whether it be the hired goons of the antagonist, honest or dishonest police, or even femme fatales, these world-weary detectives will strive to bring justice for their clients. It's time to add two more names to that list, Jackson Healy and Holland March. Writer-director Shane Black is a fan of the hard-boiled detective genre. If you've heard of or read the works of Dashiell Hammett, Raymond Chandler, Brett Halliday, and or Robert Terrell, then you might appreciate Black's 2016 love letter to the genre. The film opens in Los Angeles. The year is 1977. We open in the hills overlooking the city.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
A kid steals one of his dad's nudie magazines and is heading back to his room when one Misty Mountains, the starring model of the magazine, drives off the road and down the hill leading to the kid's house. She ends up just missing the kid as her car plows through the home and ends up a little further down the hillside. She doesn't survive the crash. Meet Jackson Healy. He's not a detective, he's a fix-it guy. Say you have a problem with someone messing around with your underage daughter, he will go explain why they should stop. He's nice that way. Next we have Holland March. He actually is a private detective. He's been hired by one Lily Glenn to find her niece that has gone missing. Her niece is known to the public at large as Misty Mountains. He is currently looking for a girl named Amelia who might have some information about Misty. Unfortunately for March, Amelia finds out that he is looking for her and she doesn't want to be found. So she hires Healy to explain to March why he should stop looking. A punch to the nose and a kick to the gut does send the message, but doesn't take. So Healy has to up the persuasion.
Look, when you're talking to your doctor, just tell him you have a spiral fracture of the left radius.
No! No!
Deep breath.
Much later, we see March talking with Mrs. Glenn. He tells her that her niece died in a car accident. Mrs. Glenn is positive that she saw her niece 2 days after the accident and wants March to keep looking. He tells her that who she saw was probably this girl Amelia and not her niece. Mrs. Glenn begs him to find Amelia to see what she knows, and he tells her no. She then breaks out the checkbook. Meanwhile, two goons show up at Healy's place to see if he knows how to find Amelia. It's all business as usual until the younger of the goons decides to kill Healy's fish. Now it's personal. He explains to them why you should keep it to business as usual. Cut to bowling alley. It's March's daughter's birthday. While March is in the bathroom, Healy shows up. Surprise, surprise. He wants to hire March to find Amelia. Healy wants to find her before the two goons do because he thinks they're going to kill her. But he doesn't know how to go about finding her on his own, and he needs March's help. Since Healy broke March's arm, March is hesitant to work for Healy. Healy offers March $400 in advance for 2 days' work. March asks if he gets to keep all the money if they find her earlier, and Healy agrees. March says okay, he will take the job as he already knows where Amelia is. Next stop, City Hall. Amelia's protest group is there to protest air pollution. They're having a die-in. That's where everyone lies on the ground and pretends to be dead. After talking with some of the protesters, they eventually discover that Amelia isn't there because her boyfriend died 3 days earlier. March offers $20 to anyone who will help them find Amelia. One of the protesters agrees, and they are off. And so we arrive at what's left of Amelia's boyfriend's house. Turns out the boyfriend was a filmmaker, and he, his house, and all his film stock went up in flames. The protester doesn't know much more than that, but a neighborhood kid is riding past on his bike, and they stop him and ask him if he knew anything about the guy that lived there. He says that it was some filmmaker dude who made nudie films. He saw Misty Mountains and a producer by the name of Sid Hatrack here. He says the name of the movie that they made was called How Do You Like My Car, Big Boy? Later, while driving around and talking, March sees a billboard with the name Sid Shattuck on it, as the producer of a porn film that starred Misty Mountains. It wasn't Hatrack the kid met, it was Shattuck. March makes some calls and discovers that Sid is out at the moment getting things ready for a big party. The person also tells him that Amelia will be back later. March tells his daughter Holly to see if she can stay at a friend's house while he and Healy go see if they can find Amelia at the party. So they head over to Bel Air. It's a very large hedonistic party with many, many, many ladies in various states of dress. As they leave March's car with the valet, they hear a bang coming from the trunk. It's Holly, She wants to help. March calls a taxi and puts her in it, telling her no. Healy and March then head into the party to see what they can find out. Healy suggests they split up so they can get through it faster. March has a number of drinks talking with the bartender, and he becomes very intoxicated. Meanwhile, Healy discovers Holly watching a porno with some people as she is asking them about Amelia. He tells her to go home and continues on looking around for Amelia. Holly, however, does not leave. Elsewhere, trying to impress a girl, March accidentally falls over the balcony of the house and goes tumbling down the hill. There he sees another girl hiding in the bushes. He doesn't recognize her, but it is Amelia, and she runs off. He sits down to catch his breath and smoke a cigarette when he discovers a body leaning up against the tree. He calls out for Healy. Healy hears him and joins him. He searches the body and finds a wallet with ID. It's Shattuck. Healy is shocked. Just about everyone involved with the Amelia movie is dead. Amelia's boyfriend, Misty Mountains, and Sid Shattuck. March is more worried about the fact that he was seen near the body by the girl and wants to get rid of the body. They get rid of the body in what may be my favorite scene of the movie.
Run.
Back at the party, an older girl hears that Holly is looking for Amelia and says that she will take her to Amelia. The girl takes Holly to a limousine where we see the younger goon. Healy and March make it back to the party and are heading for the valet service when Healy bumps into the older goon. The two fight. In the limo, the younger goon is getting his intimidation on when he sees Amelia standing just outside trying to get her keys from the valet. He opens the door and aims his gun at Amelia when Holly slams the door on his hand. Holly then jumps out of the limo and screams at Amelia to run. She then follows after Amelia. March comes running down to the valet service, and the valet tells him that the limo that is speeding down the driveway has his daughter in it. He steals the car and drives after them. Healy finally wins the fight with the older goon and tells him to get out of town, or he's not going to be so nice next time. He hears some tires squealing, and he looks over the balcony and he sees both Amelia and Holly running across the road, just as the limousine pulls up to a stop. The younger goon gets out of the limo and is about to take a shot at the fleeing girls when March comes flying around the corner in the stolen car. The younger goon shoots at the car several times, causing March to lose control, and he crashes. The younger goon then chases after the girls. Healy comes running by and tells March to quit messing around, and then he follows after the goon. The goon catches up with the girls and is about to shoot them when he is hit by a van. Holly wants to help him, but Amelia leaves. Healy catches up and tells Holly to see if she can flag down some help. After she leaves, he kills the goon, but not before the goon tells him that a heavy hitter is being flown in to deal with him in March. The authorities then arrive. March and Healy are held until someone high up can talk with them. Her name is Judith Kuttner. She works for the Department of Justice. She takes them downtown to her office to talk with them. There, she says that she wants help finding her daughter, Amelia. The two are estranged, with Amelia thinking that her mother is trying to have her killed because she is on an anti-porn crusade. She then hires them for $5,000. The next day, Healy shows up at March's house to discuss the case. Healy had found a note at Shattuck's house that was on the same paper that Amelia gave Healy, with March's name and address, and it looks like the same handwriting. They go to the address and find that the hitman is already there and he's killing all the bodyguards in the penthouse apartment. They leave before they are seen, and Healy pulls into the alley behind the apartment, saying he can't leave the girl behind. Just then, Amelia lands on the roof of their car. They take her back to March's house and talk with her. They want to get her side of the story. Amelia confirms that her mom is trying to kill her. She says that mom is on the take from the auto industry and is going to tank the case against them concerning catalytic converters. Her mother is the head of the Department of Justice, so she can't go to the police, and everyone knows the media is in cahoots with the government. So she and her boyfriend made a experimental art film, aka porno. And in the movie, it tells the tale of how her mother is on the take with Big Otto. This is the first time in history that the point of a porno is the story. Healy and March leave Amelia alone so that she can rest, and they go talk about what she has told them. As they discuss it, they get a call from Kuttner's assistant, Tally, saying she needs help. She says that Miss Kuttner called saying that she needs $100,000 and she thinks that something fishy is going on. March tells her that Amelia seems to think so too. Tally asks her if they found Amelia, and March says yes, that she is at his house with them. Tally says that she will send the family doctor over to check on her, and then asks March if he would be willing to carry the money for her. He agrees, and he and Healy head over to the federal building. Tally meets them and gives them a briefcase with money in it, saying that she has packed it herself. She thanks them and heads off to the drop point. However, on their way, March falls asleep at the wheel and has an accident.
That's not money.
It's a setup. Back at March's house, the doctor arrives to check on Amelia. It's the hitman. Whoa, Nelly. What happens next? Check out the movie. I love this film. This movie is Shane Black bringing his A-game. It's got humor, action, twists and turns, great characters, and all the actors give great performances. Made for $50 million, it only took in $62.8 million, which means, thanks to Hollywood accounting, it lost money. Which is a shame, as it means that we are unlikely to get a sequel. Doubly so since Russell Crowe has said that Healy is a character he would like to revisit. The critics liked it, with it earning a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Metacritic has it at 70 out of 100, and Rotten Tomatoes is split with the critics giving it a 91 while the audience is only 79. I have to admit, this is one of the few times I actually agree with the critics. Now, this may be due to some nostalgia since I grew up in neighboring Ventura County during the 70s and 80s, so I've been to Los Angeles many times, and I remember the smog alerts for smog so bad that your eyes would water if you went outside in it, and the gasoline lines of the 70s. They even remember the alternating days based on whether your license plate was ending with an odd or an even number. I also remember being a kid riding a bicycle without parents hovering nearby. The only real qualm I have with the film, and it's insignificant, is that the young kids of the 70s would probably go to a skating rink for a party instead of bowling. And the dialogue is probably a little more modern than 70s. I didn't hear any of the kids say bitchin' or gnarly once. But then, Black wasn't born or raised in Southern California, although he did move to the area in his sophomore year of high school. Maybe it was a little after his time. Be advised, it is rated R, and it earns it. There's some nudity, lots of profanity, some graphic violence. This isn't one to see with your kids. Once again, I can't recommend this movie enough. Check it out. Until next time.